Hi everybody, welcome to this quick 9 general wind direction playthrough for the division and dates shown on screen right now. All 9 holes, timestamps in the description down below. Please hit thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Remember to check out our channel homepage. There is daily quick 9 content available for multiple divisions. Please remember some of these replays may be from the time before Playdemic changed the attribute levels. I'm going with max topspin for the Thor's Hammer level 6. What I would advise doing here though is going with half a bar or 1 bar of side spin to the left, because you will see the wind, and we have strong wind here for a Kingmaker, will push us more to the rough on the right. So I'm backing up, I'm playing from +0 with the Thor's Hammer level 6, but I am still adjusting maximum numbers +20. Okay, so max +20, and then we're going to take our shot, hitting perfect, which of course is wonderful. And you will see here, even without that side spin to the left, look, we're just getting a bit too close to comfort, to be honest. So I would go with half a bar or 1 bar of side spin to the left. Now the idea here is to be within grizzly range. So with this drive, I'm going to show you 2 options. I'm playing min line is closer to the green, so I'm pushing up a little bit here, so I can play 10% slider, and then I think I used 10% elevation as well. But this is a difficult one. We've got to apply some backspin here when we're nearer to the green, but we're going to leave the ball guide a bit short. I do need to add some more backspin here or back up slightly. Obviously the choice is yours. This is going to be a difficult shot to drop, especially with a Kingmaker, to be honest, but we're just going to give it a go. Worst case scenario, you're going to get a very, very safe birdie. Hit perfect, so I'm playing 10% slider, and look at this, we just get a zoom in. Sadly it is on the 3rd bounce, but it's not a million miles away. Now with my second account, my main, I played with a bar of left spin on the drive, so I'm further away from the green. So here I'm pushing up more rings, but because we're further away, I can actually play with less backspin, and I think this is a better approach, to be honest. So I'm just showing you 2 options. Going here with, what do I settle on? 2 bars or 1 bar and a half, 2 bars of backspin, something like that, and ball guide slightly short of the pin. Now here I'm playing this one in between minimum and medium distance, so that equates to 25% slider. However, once again, we might need to tweak some elevation here. I think I played it 0, or we need to just back up slightly with the ball guide. I do favour this approach rather than the 4 bars of backspin, but we're just coming in a little bit to the left, but just a smidge off there. Very good chance though with that approach. On this par 3, find your position first, and we want the first point where the yellow ring touches the rough on the left and the right with the quarterback. Then we add spin, and it's going to be a light 3.5 backspin, so call it 3.4, and then here it is 2.2 or 2.3 right spin, but you want to have the tip of the ball guide touching the outside line of the fringe. So make sure you've got the 2 references there. Your spin amounts might be a click or 2 removed from what I'm using in the video. It all depends what kind of area you set up with, if you kind of 1 click high or low, but it's a guide for you to build from. Min +15, power 3. I'm not pulling over the bullseye here though, so just doing a standard 5 and then 5.2 to make up my ring adjustments. Minor greats should still be fine here. We'll look at the bounce point right now, comfortably in the middle. Double greats might be a risk though, so try and hit perfect, and subject to any tweaks, a good chance for a hole-in-one with a Kingmaker. Hole-in-one here, we're going to play from the minimum distance line with our quarterback and a power 3 ball. Red ring touching the rough on the left. Then I'm adding 1.3 backspin, no side spin, and then time to adjust our rings. Min +20, power 2, and I'm not really worrying about pulling over the bullseye. I'm just going to the bullseye, and then for anything remaining, adding the extra on. So I did 10.2 rings here. That was 5.2 plus 5, so not intentionally pulling all the way over the yellow. Perfect ball bouncing comfortably away from the rough, and then finding the gap, rolling onto the green nicely, hitting the pin and falling for the hole-in-one. On this par 5, looks like it's an NMT setup, but please double check your ring references just in case I'm mistaken there. We are at P6 max rest with our Apocalypse, and you can see level 5 and 6 got a bit of the blue ring overlapping the rough. In the end, I settle with 4 top spin and 2 bars of left spin. I'm actually going to go with an overpower shot here, even though it looks like I'm going to clip the rough and roll out. When I play my shot with the overpower, it will clear very nicely. Adjustment here is max plus 10. One thing to bear in mind here, I am quite close to the rough with my first bounce, so it could well be that I set up further back. You could drag the target back by about 4 or 5 yards, or go with power 4 NMT instead of power 6. Full overpower slow needle. There you can see we are close to the rough though, so any more tailwind and that would have been dangerous. So make sure you back up your target in tailwind. But either way, we clear very nicely, drive distance of 405 yards. Crosswind here is the best chance for a rough bump, so I'm going to give it a go in this example. Finding an estimate of my true club distance. Obviously, if you're playing tournament, you could build in some reference checks, see if you can get a pin check or a fringe check if you're dialing it in according to your particular wind angle. But you can see here, I'm adding spin. With crosswind, right to left, I'm offsetting just to the right of the pin. It is tweakable. You could either adjust more if you want to aim at the pin, but with crosswind, the approach I'm using here is playing 0 elevation, true club distance. Bear in mind, if you have more tailwind, you will adjust to a lower point, so you would need to add some clicks of overpower. And similarly, if you have headwind, you adjust up onto the green, which is going to cause you to gain distance, so you might need to go with a click of underpower instead. This rough bump is a little bit technical. I would suggest you practice it, otherwise you might get stuck in the sand if you don't put in enough tweaks for your wind angle that you have. But 0 elevation, true club distance is a very good starting point indeed. Just needed a small tweak to get that one to drop. Now, if you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so. Details on the screen now. As part of your perks on certain days for the Quick Nines, there will be some Patreon exclusive Master General playthroughs for those holes used. So make sure you check us out there. Here we're going to play with the Kingmaker and the APOC, and we're going to go with 5.8 top spin, 2 right spin. This is all about getting the drive distance correct. Here you may, in some cases, roll down the slope. If you're doing that in practice, then reduce the top spin slightly. Topper plus 4 with APOC 5 and above. Topper plus 10 with APOC 4. I've got the clear ring touching the rough with APOC 5 and 6. You will have approximately half of the clear ring overlapping the rough with APOC 4. Max plus 10. Here I go with circle drop OP. But as I said, if you have more crosswind angle, you may not need the OP. It may get you to roll down the slope. So that's why I say take a token or two first. Otherwise, you might have to play with a different club. So try and build in some tweaks if you can. Ideally, you want to stop just before you roll down the big slope there, around 380 yards. Second shot, if you can play with the Grizzly, that's what I've done here as your drop reference. But be prepared to improvise. If you do get a glitch roll down the slope, then you're going to be playing with a Thorn, but it won't endanger the birdie. Adding spin as shown is going to be around 1.5 top spin, 1 left spin. Then we're pushing up rings from min and counting our rings from min until we have the red ring touching the rough. I've pushed up 11 rings from min here. Then I'm finding position with the red ring touching rough and the ball guide offset about half a green square away from the pin. Make sure you try and replicate that offset as best you can, because the wind is going to push us down to the right once we've cleared the rough. Rings from min, 15% elevation, pulling twice over the bullseye here, and 11 rings from min, that was coming out at 14% on the slider. So 14% slider, 15% elevation. Like I said though, try and get a bit more comfortable with the drive. Tweak the spin or the overpower if you're finding yourself rolling down the fairway a little bit too far. And the rings from min here though has been dropping very nicely for the eagle. Oh, this is a nasty one here, but we're still going to use a Kingmaker. I am going with 2 bars of backspin and 1.2 side spin to the right. Apply spin and find your position here. Look at where the ball guide is aiming. It's into the light green square column to the right of the second lot of dark green squares. That's about the best I can explain there. You'd have to pause the video. Adjustment here, are you ready for it? Maximum distance plus 50. Max plus 50. As you can see, we're just adjusting down the cliff there, so I go with baby overpower, only a fraction though, and a little bit of curl to the right. Now it's up to you how much curl you want to risk here. If you over curl it or you hit great right, you could end up in the sand. So it depends how aggressive you want to be, but this, you know what, for a kingmaker, I'm going to happily settle for that one. Just a little tap in for a birdie. Apologies here for the slight lagginess. I had to take this from the stream directly because the game did not save my replay, even though it was in actual tournament mode. So 6 top spin, 1 bar left spin. I'm setting up at plus 5 yards with my APOC 5, half of the blue ring in the rough. The adjustment here is maximum distance with no elevation, and you'll see we're going to go into overpower. So there's 1 ring of overpower. Again, sorry for the video quality, but this is the best I could do. And look at the curl, the ball slightly away from the triangle, so that the triangle is halfway between the ball and the adjustment ring. That's how I remember this one. And I'm applying 2 rings of overpower. Hitting perfect, and as you'll see, even though this video quality is not good, we do bounce very nicely, and it gives you an idea, and you can hear the adjustments at least. So set up at plus 5, 6 top spin and bar of side spin to the left. Back to normality now with the sniper, and I'm just backing up a little bit from max distance so that I can adjust, but in the end I'm going to have to go with full top spin. I do keep with the sniper because of the ball guide, but obviously if you don't want to use overpower, then you can play with the cataclysm as well. The adjustment here, I go maximum distance, and I think I use 10% for elevation. I usually wouldn't do that, but as we've got a kingmaker with more wind, I'm just erring on the side of caution. Adjusting into overpower, so I do go with a few rings of overpower. And, well, would you believe it, we've hit perfect with the sniper in master. What are the chances of that? Where we don't really need to either. We just want to get onto the green, to be honest. So yeah, we could have pushed it a bit further, but I'm going to take a putt for an eagle all day and every day. Now, although you can support us financially on Patreon, you can also join as a free member. If you do that, you will get bonus master level text guide content from the Coalition. They produce text guides for free every tournament, free to play balls, and we send those out when they do so. And they very kindly agreed to let me share their archives of all the courses used in this season of Quick Nines for you all to use, because there may be some wind angles that you get as part of the Quick Nines that they have in their archive. So you will receive those if you join us as a free member on our Patreon. On this par 4, we're going to drive with our APOC followed by sniper. With APOC 5 and 6, I've got the red ring touching the rough on the left at the top of plus 10. We're adding spin, 3 top spin and 3 left spin. If you've got APOC 4, you will be at P6 max rest with 20% of the red ring overlapping the rough. Top spin obviously is going to vary depending on your wind angle. In headwind, I would play a little bit more top spin, probably about 4 bars, and in level crosswind, around 3.5 bars to get to the right point. Adjustment here is max distance with 10% elevation. Then we're going to go with some curl here. You're going to go with half a ball of curl to the left. Obviously in headwind, you will adjust into overpower, so I would suggest you set further back there. Obviously let the top spin do the work, but we want to get into the middle of the dogleg part of the fairway, around 345 yards. Second shot, I'm finding my club distance here. You can bounce over with backspin, but there is a nice funnel in the rough if you find it correctly, and it will need a little bit of trial and error with the spin and the landing position, depending where you are with your drive. I'm using top spin and right spin to find the funnel from my position here. And as a recommendation, based on the attempt in the video, I would be playing the rough bump at true club distance with 15% under adjustment. So true club distance minus 15. I'm at approximately mid-distance here. It will need a practice token or two if you are playing this hole in a tournament scenario, just to dial it in. But if you find that funnel, it's a very nice route to the pin, and you don't have to adjust too many rings as you would playing a standard bounce over shot instead.
Few ways you can play this par 3. It is a tricky one though. I'm going to show you a very safe bounce up with the sniper instead. One back spin and one left spin, and I'm having the blue ring hugging the rough line at the beginning of the fairway. And you can see there's a little sticky spot and a funnel, not much of one though, but try and find a consistent spot. Ball guide pointing to the hole. You will need to vary that according to your wind angle though here. Mid-distance, 15% elevation is the general elevation I would use and is what I use in the video here. If you want to go more aggressively, then there is a sand bump available from the right-hand bunker immediately before the green. However, you would need some practice tokens to dial that one in. Finally, as there is some tailwind here, I go with a little bit of underpower. You can investigate playing further up as well on different parts of this fairway, but it is very bumpy, but we're avoiding a glitch roll, just missing to the left-hand side on this awkward par 3.
If you are enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to help out and keep everything free, then please consider making a small donation. All donations are gratefully received and help me out here on the channel, as all of the content here is produced for free in my own spare time. You can do that in one of 3 ways. You can hit the thanks button here on YouTube, you can make a PayPal donation via the link in the description down below, or you can also join us over on Patreon. Details at the end of the video. Final par 5, we're going to play with the rock, blue ring touching the rough on the right at P3 max with the rock level 8, top of plus 15 with the rock level 9. 1 top spin, 3 right spin if you are worried about rolling into the rough or have higher wind with more tailwind, then by all means reduce the top spin by a few clicks. But ultimately the choice is yours. You've got to assess the wind angle. If you're worried, like I say, take a click or 2 off. You're still going to reach on the second shot. So if that is a concern, play with like 0.5, 0.6 top spin instead. Max plus 10, P3, 1.5 ball curl to the right, just before the circle drops with our overpower reference. Important not to apply any more than that, otherwise you risk rolling long. So take all of that into consideration when you weigh up how to play that drive, but for me, 342 yards going to be fine. Second shot with a distance wood club, between 3.5 and 4 top spin and 1 bar side spin to the right, and then we're stretching out to max distance, having the ball guide pointing as shown in the middle of the bunker and the pin. Adjust max plus 10 power 3 settings, then we're going to leave our target where it is and go with full overpower, but you will have a nice slow needle. Minor great left, minor great right. Still going to be fine here. You might want to tweak the top spin based on some testing, but for me, I've always trickled down onto the green very, very nicely indeed. And the idea here is to get safely on the green, and you're going to have a putt for your eagle on this par 5. Thank you for watching this video Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.